Hi guys, my name's Mark O'Hare. This is We Love Betting. It's Six Nations Rugby time, week 2. Didn't have time to file a report or a preview, for week 1 last week, but hopefully get stuck into it now for the second weekend, starting on Saturday and running across to Sunday as well. France v Ireland first up at sort of 2:30 on Saturday afternoon. The Irish bidding for back-to-back wins in Paris for the first time since 1927. And I reckon they can do it. Simon Zebo and Keith Earls, both members of the back three last weekend, added to a long injury list for Ireland, which includes many of the players who you'd expect to be starting in the first 15. But Sean O'Brien returns, Rob Kearney also returns at fullback. So there's plenty of bulk, plenty of experience in the team. Interestingly, 9 of the starting 15 played in the 24-9 win over France in the World Cup just a matter of months ago. So there's no real excuses over a lack of depth in the Irish squad, really, in my opinion, coming into this game. Last weekend, I was a little bit disappointed they failed to see out the game, but very much encouraged by the performance. Leading 13-0 after half hour, you'd have hoped to pick up 2 points in that game, but in the end, Johnny Sexton needed that penalty just a few minutes from time to level the scores. As I say, I was impressed. I thought we played above expectations. And without losing to France in the last 5 games, I'm reasonably confident, despite the 6-day rest turnaround, that can do a job, because France, to me, they just laboured against Italy. The pack seemed to be walking around the pitch for large parts. Guy Neves was unimpressed with his forwards as well. He's made 6 changes to the side as well for this weekend after that Italy game. Shuley starts at 8 following Picamoles's tournament-ending injury. Gail Ficku's also missing, which is 2 sort of key absentees. The pack did look a little bit undercooked. The back showed a degree of flair and a few flashes of brilliance, but there's still too many question marks surrounding this French team for me, especially over who's going to kick the points. They have won 3 games on the spin at the Stade de France, but just amazingly, the stat I found, they've never won 4 games on the spin at home at the Stade de France. Quite incredible, really. As I mentioned about the last 5 encounters, they failed to beat Ireland in any of them under the Philippe Saint-André era. They only actually crossed the try line more than once on one occasion in those 5 games. They're given a 1-point handicap deficit in this game to overcome, and they've only actually beaten the handicap in 3 of the last 24 Six Nations games. A lot of negativity surrounding Irish rugby at the start of the season and coming into the Six Nations. Joe Schmidt showed what a canny operator he is, really. It's one of the Northern Hemisphere's finest coaches at the moment. And with him on side, I think Ireland needs to be on my side as well. So rather than take the 11-10 in the match odds, I'll take them to win by 1 to 12 points at 11-5 for William Hill. So the big price, and I think it'll be a narrow away win. So moving on to Wales and Scotland. Wales sort of become accustomed to making these slow starts to tournaments. 13-0 down at half an hour. It looked like it was going to happen again in Dublin, but fair play to Warren Gatland's side. Very spirited, determined, bruising encounter, but they came through it and took a point when they could have easily taken 2. They'll need to improve their finishing ability in the offensive third. Too many times now they're getting into decent positions and lacking a clinical edge to put teams away. Happened in the World Cup, happened again last weekend too. Of course, Dan Biggar went off early in that game. He'll be fit to play, be alongside Jamie Roberts at 12, who was monumental in that game too. Defence has always been their strongest point, Wales, but if they can start to find a bit of unity and kind of just start finishing off a few of these chances, they should come through this game. Scotland, well, it lost 15-9 to England. I thought it was one of their best chances to beat England in a long time at Murrayfield. They're putting their sort of spirited, disciplined performance. They've lost Matt Scott in the centre for this weekend to injury. Duncan Taylor, an informed centre for Saracens, comes in. They've got a dreadful record against Wales. The last time they went to Cardiff, they got beaten 51-3. It's the biggest ever defeat to the Welsh. And they've actually lost the last 8 on the spin to Wales. They've never beaten them in the Warren Gatland era. And actually, since the tournament was expanded to 6 teams, they've lost 12 of their 16 Six Nations games with Wales. It's quite remarkable how poor they've been when taking on the Welsh. But even so, Vern Cotter's team, they are improving, competitive, difficult to beat. Their offensive structure was a little bit missing and skew-if last weekend, but I think they can keep this game competitive. 2 of the last 3 games between the 2 teams have been decided by 10 points or fewer. Only one of Scotland's last 5 defeats have been by more than 13 points, so we'll take that winning margin again. Wales to win by 1 to 12 points at 7 to 4. Round it off then with Sunday, Italy against England. The Eddie Jones era started with that 15-9 win at Scotland, 2 tries to 0. They sort of showed their teeth. The set piece was strong, one of the real areas of weaknesses. Jones opted for that kind of experienced squad in that heated Murrayfield atmosphere, and it seemed to work. They got the win. It's all they wanted to do. And now Jones is kind of coming out in his usual trash talking style, saying they want to give Italy a real bit hiding this weekend. At the end of the day, points difference could be, and probably will be, the deciding factor to who wins the championship. So they need to go out and put a score on the board here. But he's made 3 changes: Courtney Laws, Maku Vunipola, and Ben Youngs coming into the team. Bar Youngs, I think the other 2 changes are fair enough. As for Italy, well, I thought they exceeded everyone's expectations, including my own, to come within 2 points of beating France. Real competitive display. I thought the pack worked well. In the backs, they were decent too. At one stage, they actually had an 8-point advantage, which, they'll probably look back at it and be a little bit disappointed, but even so, they covered the spread of 18 points comfortably. Against England, they've lost their last 12 games though since they've joined the Six Nations. Upsetting the odds this weekend just looks really unlikely. They got stuffed 50-11 in their last head-to-head in Rome, being beaten by at least 30 points in the last 2 meetings with England. I don't expect England to run up a cricket score, but they should comfortably win this. They're more intelligent, got more beef, panache, and swagger about them this weekend. The handicap's 17 points. I think a shrewder approach could be to back England and the winning margin again. 11 to 20 points inclusive is 23 to 10 with Paddy Power, and that appeals to me. It kind of covers both angles. If Italy do keep things tight, and also the handicap, you'd win if England stayed within that. So France v Ireland. Ireland to win by 1 to 12, 11 to 5. Wales v Scotland. Wales to win by 1 to 12, 7 to 4. Both with William Hill. And then Italy v England. England to win by 11 to 20. It's 23 to 10 with Paddy Power. The treble is 28 to 1, which seems like decent odds to me. Best of luck, and I'll catch you next week.